Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. I don't speak Spanish. Hi, hello, how are you doing? I am MaddPadness, or if you watch me on Deviant Art, you will know me as MaddPad, and today we are going to be making a model together. Well, not from scratch. No, I don't have the skills for that yet. But I am going to be editing a model and showing you guys my process because I think I am a little bit different. Well, not that different. There are other people who edit like me, but I don't edit in PMX editor. Now what I mean by that is I will work on rigging, physics, bodies, joints. I will work on that in PMX editor. But when it comes to actually editing, like actually changing the way that a model looks, I do that all in Blender. Now you may be wondering, MaddPadness, why do you edit in Blender? Well, that's a good question. For me, I found that there is more that I am able to do editing in Blender than I can do in PMX Editor. Even with plugins in PMX Editor, it still feels really restrictive. Even doing something simple, like editing a UV map in PMX Editor, to me, is very complicated and it's a hassle. I would rather do that in Blender, and so I do. And I've been using Blender to edit models for about a year now, and I can say that my modeling has definitely improved since. So at this point you may be wondering, why should I be watching this video if I don't use Blender? Well, by watching this series, maybe you'll be able to see some of the features that Blender has to offer, and maybe you'll be interested yourself in using Blender to edit your models. Also, I feel like using Blender to edit your models can be a great stepping stone for making your own models of your own. I mean, that's how I started out. I was an editor, and I used PMX Editor for a long time, and then I started using Blender to edit, and then I got the courage to try and make my own models, and I used the skills that I learned editing in Blender to start making my own things on my own. And don't get me wrong, I am not a professional or anything. I'm still very, very noob at this. Noob. Who the heck says noob? Oh my gosh. I'm not the best at 3D modeling, but I feel like I've definitely improved since where I was at the beginning of 2019. And maybe you might find some skills in this video that help your models improve as well. Even if you don't use Blender after watching my video, I'm sure that maybe along the lines you could learn something about, I don't know, rigging, because I've done really complex rigs before. You might learn something about texturing. I'm not that good at texturing. I don't know. This video is meant to be not exactly a tutorial, but more of like a guide. Just me sort of like walking you through how I do things. And if this doesn't help you, then hopefully it can at least be entertaining for you to watch somebody else make a model. I don't know. If you're not that interested in what I have to say, then you could always just mute the video and just play it in the background. I don't care. You can just close or whatever. But I think this is enough of me rambling. Let's get on to the tutorial aspect, shall we? I need to stop calling this a tutorial. This is not a tutorial. This is a guide. This is just like me walking you through how I make my models. So we're using Blender, so you're going to want to download some plugins in order to be able to import and export your MMD models. Now, what plugins do I use? I have 3 MMD plugins, however the one that I'm going to be using the most is MMD Tools because it works the best 90% of the time. Sometimes I get errors when I try to export, and I just can't do anything about that, and that's why I use one of my other 2. However, for the most part, MMD Tools is best. you should stick to MMD tools. Now, what model will I be making today? Well, I'm going to be making Kagamine Rin, 100% out of 3D CG parts. Yes, you heard me, 3D custom girl parts. Now, I know what you're thinking, 3D custom girl is trash, but it's actually not. I feel like if you edit 3D custom girl well enough, then it can actually look really good. And I'm going to prove that to you by editing 3D custom girl to look really good. Okay? Okay? Now, of course, crediting is very important in the MMD community, and today, the parts that I'm going to be using to make this model is MMD Outfit 32 by MMD 3D CG Parts. Now, they are a Deviant Art user who has basically posted like 99% of their posts are just like rips of mods from 3D Custom Girl. And this outfit 32 is actually Rin's outfit. Rin's V2 outfit, that is. And I'm going to be using that to brain fart. I am going to be using this outfit for my edit of Rin. Now, what good is having an outfit if you don't have a base to put it on? The base I'm going to be using today is the MMD Punk Body by MMD Fake Wings 18. MMD Fake Wings 18, again, is another user who has made a decent amount of MMD 3D CG rips. I chose to use this base because I feel like this base is... the face is masculine enough that if I was ever interested in making like a Len model, which I don't know if I'm going to make a Len model, probably not, but if I was ever interested, it probably would not be that difficult to edit it together with this face. Now we have our outfit and accessories and we have a base, but I know what you're thinking. Hair! What about hair? I always save hair edits for last. I don't like editing hair until I finish editing a face, and so for now, we are not going to be worrying about hair, not in this video. When I do add hair, I will tell you what hair I am using, and I will give credit to whoever ripped or edited or made the hair. But we have our models now, so without further ado, shall we start editing? Hi, it's MaddPadness, so coming to you live from the future. So, there is going to be some missing footage in this video. First things first, when I first tried to record myself editing this model, the first screen recorder that I used exported the video in terrible quality, meaning that I had to re-record this again. Which, you know, that was great, having to make a model that I already made again. Definitely was not a waste of my time making that original model, but, you know, whatever. It's whatever. I don't care. I'm over it. Oh, so, because my other screen recorder was causing me problems, I decided to switch to OBS Studio, which I probably should have used in the first place. Except I'm stupid and I messed with some things in OBS that I did not understand, and so some parts of the video that I filmed ended up being like cropped, like you can not see my screen, and there's no point in having this footage if you cannot see what I'm doing. Like, how are you supposed to learn from what I'm doing? And so I'm not going to include that footage. Oh, so when I was editing the pants for this model, OBS just crashed. That was the first time OBS crashed. I wasn't expecting it, but it crashed. And so now I'm being more careful when I use OBS. I'm trying to like take breaks more often when making the model. So like if I finish editing, I'll like record myself editing the shirt, and then once I finish editing the shirt, I stop recording and then that video gets exported. So that's what I'm doing to like try and avoid crashes, just like completely getting rid of the video that I spent time recording. And the pants were like probably the most complicated part of editing this model aside from the shirt. It's frustrating, but you're not going to see me like cleaning up the parts for this model, and you're also not going to see me editing the pants, unfortunately. I'm not re-recording that for a third time. I'm sorry. Nope. No. Maybe that'll be its own video, actually. Making, like, me showing you how to properly clean up an MMD model. But until I make that, I don't know if I will make that. Until I make that, or whatever, I'll just link a video in the description, or a tutorial. I haven't decided yet. I'll link something in the description that's a tutorial on how to make sure that your models are clean, so that they don't cause you any problems. So yeah, we're gonna skip over the part where I clean the model's base and the parts that I downloaded for the model. And after I edit the body, we're also going to skip over the part where I edit the pants, unfortunately. Anyway, let's get back to the video, shall we? Oh yeah, I'm currently using Blender version 2.79, and don't mind my Blender theme. I personally hate the gray color scheme that Blender originally comes with, and so I've changed mine to a purple and blue just to like, it's easier on my eyes, personally. First things first, when I open up my model in Blender, I'm going to go to this little sidebar, and I'm going to select Shadeless to show the textures. Next, I will be selecting half of the model's vertices and deleting them, because we're going to apply a mirror modifier to this model. Next, I'm going to just select the entire head and move it above the model because we are not going to be editing the face in this video. That will be saved for the next one. You also want to make sure to press the W button and then select remove duplicates because I forgot to do that. I end up doing it later on. What it does is that it will take two vertices that are in the same coordinate, the same spot, and it will merge them. Be a little bit careful when you're doing this with the face. You don't want to accidentally merge teeth together. I know that some modelers, TDA specifically, will have their teeth very close together, and if you're not careful, you can accidentally end up merging those vertices, and then the model won't be able to open their mouth. By now you may have noticed that I am able to move parts of this model without selecting everything. So there's a tool in Blender, it's called proportional editing, and what it does, basically, I'm not going to make a tutorial on this. I'll link a video in the description for more info. What it does is that it will make it so if you select one vertices and you move it, the other vertices around it will move as well. And you can play around with the strength of this, which I do a lot in this video. As you can see, that's how I'm editing the feet right now. This tool is the sole reason that I started using Blender. It's a very useful tool, and it makes fitting clothes to models much easier, and if you ever thought about using Blender, I feel like this alone is reason enough to consider start using it. But yeah, now that I've finished editing the feet, I just move it down so that's on the axis, and I also move the legs as well with proportional editing. Oh yeah, when you have the mirror modifier, make sure to turn on clipping. I forgot to turn it on. I'm just slowly but surely editing the legs a little bit, moving on to the thighs, editing the hips a bit, and it's this is just how I edit. It's sort of a bit of a push and pull, sort of seeing if I move this a little bit, will I like the way that looks? If not, then I just move it back, or Control Z. And yeah. Once you're really good at it, it doesn't take that much time. But this is how I edit my parts. I think pretty soon I start to move on to the shoulders. Yep, moving on to the shoulders. Then after this, I start to work on the arms. I don't like 3D CG arms. I feel like they're too short, and I also do not like how big the hands are. So I'm gonna try and elongate the arms and also shorten up the fingers. And I think I also edited the shape of the arms a bit to make them thicker because the arms are pretty skinny. After this, I think I go to pose mode, and then I move the bones first. I edit the bones. I don't edit bones in Blender normally. I just move them so that they're in the right place, and then I pose the arms, just so I can see, like, are the arms long enough? Did I make them too long? Do I need to make them shorter? You know, that sort of thing. But other than that, I do not do any editing to the bones at all, unless I want to, like, check something with a pose. Other than that, I just don't do it. Not in Blender, because I don't know how to yet. Okay, so yeah, this is the part where I just look and I edit the bones, I moved them up, I turned on the mirror, apply mirror, and yeah. I think I either left the arms as they were, or I edited them to be shorter or long. Oh? I don't know. I mean, you're gonna see the footage anyway, so like... Also, right now I'm focusing a lot on the front of the model, like focusing on how the model looks from the front. I do move on to the side. I'm just always make sure to like edit the sides of your models as well. Like, I mean, isn't it kind of weird if you look at a model from the front and they have these big hips and like skinny waist and like big breasts, but then you look at them from the side and they're like super like they just look like skinny from the side. So like make sure to check how your models are looking at from like all angles, not just the front. Right now I'm focusing on the front a lot, but I will move on to the side, okay? Here's where I work on the side. I think I moved the model's hips forward a little bit because I don't like 3D CG's model shape. By the way, you don't have to edit your models to look the same as mine. Like, if you are making a 3D CG edit, like if you're using this base or whatever, you don't have to make the model look like mine. Like, do what looks good to you. Make a model that you like. If you don't like the way that my models look, then don't go for my type of style. The point of this video isn't to like teach you how to like copy my style, it's to teach you how to like edit in like a similar way that I do. But your edit doesn't have to look like mine, you know? I hope that made sense. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I'm just sitting still. But I'm gonna take this time to tell you that in the description, if you want, I will leave a link to this video of me editing this model, and it will just be me editing this model in real time, like just like a time-lapse video. No, it's not gonna be sped up, you're not gonna have my voiceover, it's just gonna be like you, the video, and then whatever background music I decide to add to it. So yeah, from here I think I'm just making small adjustments to the model as I go through. Changing up some things, moving some vertices around a little. And then if I don't like something, I'll just undo it and then redo or something, you know. I think you get the point. Proportional editing does most of the job here.
Perfect.
So I think at this point I just look at the model from all angles. I see that the back is the model is very skinny, so I just moved the back up a bit because I didn't edit that before. Move the chest a bit more inward, yeah. Something to consider. I didn't do it here, but something to consider while you're editing in Blender that you can do, turning all the triangles into quads. Yeah, quads. There's some more things that you can do in Blender if you are using quads as opposed to triangles. For example, if you're editing a base like this, I can select edges easier. So you know all those loops around the model's legs? Yeah, I could just like select those loops easier, whereas if it's all triangles, then I might only like select part of the loop. So I didn't do that with this model, but that is something that I would do. Like, that's something that I do when I am editing some models, so you might want to consider doing that for your own. Some models don't take too well to like converting them to quads, like tries to quads. I think most 3D CG parts tend to work pretty well. But yeah, that was the entire base edited. And there's no footage for the pants, but basically the way that I would do the pants is pretty similar to how I edited the base. Select half of the pants, delete it, mirror it, and then just like edit the pants with proportional editing. Honestly, I don't think I need to show that footage. Like, I lost that footage. I don't think I need to show it because it's very similar to what I just did with the base. What I do with the belt and the shirt is a little bit is more different than what I did to the base, so I will show those two clips now. Alright, so we're loading in the belt. Should have started with this loaded up already, but I did not. And so what I do, I think I scale it down a bit. Oh, I changed the place where the little pointer tool is. Normally the pointer tool is around like the median point of like the vertices that you selected, but I changed it so that the part where the vertices get scaled is based on the cursor, and then I moved the cursor so that it's like in the middle of the like X, like it's at 0 basically, like X equals 0, that coordinate, so that it will mirror from left to right evenly. And that's how I scale it for the most part. And then from there, because it's a belt, I sort of just, you know, proportional editing. I tried to keep it as symmetrical as possible. This belt is a symmetrical model. The only thing that keeps it from being symmetrical completely is like, you know, the little side belt thing that Rin has going on. And I probably could have just mirrored this model. If you're doing this, then like, you probably should mirror it. I didn't. I probably could have just mirrored it and then applied the mirror modifier and then just get rid of the little belt piece on the left side, but I'm lazy, I don't know. So I sort of do this weird thing where because the belt is symmetrical on both sides, I select the vertices in the side view. That way I get the vertices that are the same on the left and the right side, you know? Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. This isn't a tutorial, so it doesn't matter if it makes sense. But yeah, it's mostly proportional editing doing the work here. And then me just like looking at the belt from all angles, making sure that things look okay. So I'm looking at the belt from the front and the side. I think, so there's some clipping. I think I moved those vertices. I think I scaled them out a bit. Oh, I'm moving that up. Oh yeah, there's clipping there too. I didn't watch this footage ahead of time, alright? I'm commentating over this while watching the footage. I don't have a script or anything. Maybe I should write a script. I'm too lazy though. I probably should have a script when I'm editing the face though, huh? But as you can see, eventually I get tired of like selecting the vertices on each side, and so I just like select one at a time and move them a little bit. Your models don't need to be completely symmetrical. I like my models to be symmetrical because I feel like it makes rigging way easier, but it doesn't matter that much. I think it's okay to have asymmetrical clothing. Editing Vocaloids is always kind of interesting, because like, most Vocaloids tend to be symmetrical in their outfits, but then they have these like small details that are just asymmetrical. For example, like, the belt is asymmetrical here, Rin's tattoo, which I'll edit later, is asymmetrical, it's only on one arm. I think the shirt for this was asymmetrical too. So you guys will get to see me edit that. Oh yeah, I edit the belt loops a bit so that it fits better around the belt, just because I didn't feel like editing the belt to fit around the belt loops. And then I edited the one that is... I edited the one that can't be seen, which I probably didn't need to do, but I did it anyway. Oh wait, no, I did need to do it because the pants are mirrored. Right. I'm stupid. Like I said, did not watch this footage. I forgot everything that I did. I'm editing that little clipping part. That part I did not need to do. I just did that because, I don't know, I felt that it was necessary. I think realistically no one's going to see that. Like, even if this is rigged, no one's gonna see that little part clipping through the belt loop, but whatever. I did it anyway. I pay attention to detail. Nothing wrong with that. I think I changed the way that little piece of belt looks. Yeah, because, like, that bend didn't look nice to me. That little bend in the middle. Yeah. I didn't like that. And so I changed it up a little bit. Yeah, see? That's a nice, better curve. That's a lot better. That's a better bend. Can you tell that I'm not used to doing commentary? I feel like I tried to like make the base commentary sort of professional, but now that I'm doing the other stuff, I mean, there's not that much going on. Unlike the base, I'm not going to show the footage of me in real time editing the clothes. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think I'm gonna include that footage. Now or later, I will edit the belt because the belt sort of like goes out a lot, like as you can see. I feel like the belt should rest on Ren's butt more. And this is where I do a 360 turn because we are done editing the belt! Woo! Yay! Now on to the shirt, which is more interesting. There's more for me to talk about there. So, yeah. Let's get to it! Alright, so now we are going to start working on the shirt, which I do differently than the other clothes. First I'm going to scale it down a bit so that it fits the body a little bit better. And I mentioned this before, but you can actually see it when I'm editing the shirt. I do change the triangles to quadrilaterals, like four-sided, you know. So I'm messing around with like the shape of the shirt using proportional editing. The reason why the way that I edit this shirt is different is because I actually use Blender's sculpt tool, which I will use sometimes. This shirt is asymmetrical, but it's asymmetrical in the tie, and I don't really want to take my time to try and make that symmetrical. So I do try and mess around with the shirt in using the sculpt tool a bit. And I will do this when I'm fitting some clothes and I'm like struggling. But I also do a similar thing that I did with the belt, where like I will select, where if there are two vertices, that are like in the same space but like mirrored, then I will select them both in the side view and then like scale them that way. Because the rest of the shirt is symmetrical, it's just like the tie that is not. But I do use the sculpt tool a little bit. So right here, I'm just sort of like trying to get the shape to look right. As you can see, I was able to select that entire like little loop of vertices because I changed them from triangles to quads, which if I had triangles, I wouldn't be able to. And then I go into the sculpt tool and I just like sort of work on the arm area. And then I smooth it out with another one of the brushes. When I'm editing clothes, the sculpt tools that I tend to use are like the pull tool and the pull brush and the smoothing brush. Just so that everything's all nice. And then I will go back to edit mode in Blender and then move around the vertices individually just to like make sure that it looks right. So I'm sort of moving down that chest area, as you can see, so that like it isn't sticking up from her chest, because that can, depending on what angle you're looking at the model from, that can look kind of weird. And I'm personally not a fan of that, so I'm just trying to like fix that up. I see that one of the vertices is clipping to the front side, so I'm trying to like find which one it is, and I found the one that was in the front, so I just moved it forward a bit. Now I'm going back into the sculpt tool to like really work on the arms. Especially when I'm editing arms, I tend to do it in the sculpt tool. And as you can see, it looks nice. I do use one of the different settings for proportional editing just to stylize the shirt a little bit. I'm probably gonna end up rigging the shirt. It's probably gonna be like a dress or something. Well, like it's gonna have like skirt rigging for the shirt, maybe. I don't know, I haven't decided. So yeah, as you can see, I've made the shirts a little bit more baggy, a little bit more loose. Yeah, as you can see, it looks pretty good. Just gonna fix that little clipping area, clipping problem with the breast. And yeah, that's a good shirt. So at this point, I've basically explained how I edit clothes in general. I'm still going to include the other clips of me editing the rest of her accessories, but they're going to be sped up. The only other like clothing item that I think needs commentating on is probably the little tattoo, because I'm not drawing on the tattoo with textures. When I do rinse tattoo, the first thing that I do is I I make the triangles into quads, and then I apply the subdivision modifier. That way it has more vertices that I can work with. That way I can better shape it to her arm. But that's all that I do for the arm tattoo, just so I can do, so that it's more easy to work with. But other than that, everything that I've told you guys, everything that I've talked about, like regarding the belt and the base and the shirt, that's basically how I edit clothing. So there isn't that much to say, so I think I'm just going to let the rest of the videos just play out. The next video of me editing a model with you guys is going to be one where I edit the face and hair. Faces take me a long time, so I don't know how much of that I'm going to show. I'm probably going to show myself editing the entire face, and then I'm later on going to show probably a little bit, not all, just like a little bit of me like adding morphs to the face. Because I know that some people do struggle with that when it comes to MMD. I don't know, for me personally, I never liked to edit well, I did like to edit faces, but I wouldn't like to go too crazy with my edits because I always knew that I would never be able to fix any of the morphs afterwards. So, but I feel like with Blender it's a little bit easier. It still takes time, but it's like possible to fix morphs and make them look good. I tend to make my morphs from scratch though, so. But I'm not going to show you myself making all of the morphs. Maybe that'll be like a time lapse. Maybe that'll be like another video that I post, similar to how I'm going to post the unedited, like, raw video of me editing the body. But yeah. Also in the next video, I'm going to include myself editing the hair, which for me is my favorite part when editing. Like, hair and faces are always fun to edit because the face is what really makes your model, and then the hair, I just like editing hair. It's like fun, it's easy. So yeah, so hope you guys look forward to those videos. You guys can just chill and watch the rest of this footage. I guess since I've said everything that I needed to say in this video, I might as well do like one of those crazy YouTuber outros, huh? So, if you like this video, like this video. If you dislike this video, dislike it. Leave any comments or questions you have down below. Although, if you have questions, it would be best to contact me through Deviant Art or Discord. I am more active on those two places than I am on YouTube comment sections. Subscribe if you want to be notified when I post my next video. Of course, you will only be notified if you make sure to click that bell. I hope you enjoy watching the rest of this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, or night, or evening, or morning, or whatever time it is for you. Currently, when I'm recording this part of the audio, it is the afternoon. That was not really needed information, but, bye!